My story starts when I was really young. When I was born, my parents were in the middle of a divorce. And shortly after that, my mom remarried. My stepdad adopted my sisters and I. Shortly after that, my stepdad became sexually abusive. The earliest I remember, I was 6 years old, and this went on until I was 14. Growing up in that, I grew up with a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. I felt like I didn't have a voice. I was known as the shy little girl. And when I was 14, I remember I was in the car with my sister. It was almost as if it wasn't me talking, the words just came out, and I just told her everything that was going on. And she actually told me it was happening to her too, and we found out it was happening to our older sister as well. We then told someone everything. From that day, my life was never the same. I never saw my stepfather again, and truly just thought that was the worst it could get. And then 3 days later, we got a knock on the door from the police, and they had found my stepfather, and he had committed suicide. I was immediately filled with so much guilt and fear of what was ahead. I was so angry. I knew the Lord. I had grown up in church, but I never had a true relationship with him. I would watch my stepfather go to church and raise his hands in worship, and then he was the same one that was doing all these things to me at home. And so I kind of decided that that's not what I wanted. If that's what church was, if that is what God was, then I didn't want it. But after all of this happened with my family, I didn't have much to cling to. So I remember I would go into my room and I would just cry and I would just pray to God to give me hope, because I felt so hopeless, I felt so depressed, I felt so anxious, and I didn't honestly feel like I could go on. I remember in those moments when I felt most broken and most hopeless, I was met with the presence of the Lord. And I was a little girl with a lot of daddy issues, and I would read about Father God, and I would read about the love of God. I encountered it so real, and it became so real to me that He is the Father, and He is a good Father and a loving Father. For me, freedom didn't come in a moment. It didn't even come in a church building. It came in my room with a daily walk with the Lord. And my family was restored. My mom, my sisters, and I are closer than we've ever been. And the Lord has brought so much healing, so much freedom. A phrase I would tell myself is, be a victor over a victim. And in life, we can't control the things that happen to us. We can't control people's decisions and their choices, but we can control how we move forward. And the Lord gives so much hope, and He truly draws near to the brokenhearted. I'm not a slave to my past. I truly, truly walk in victory with Jesus.